So the Miami Heat have revealed their potential LeBron pivot if LeBron does not manage to make his way to the Heat or return to the Heat, if you will. They reveal their pivot, and their pivot, if LeBron does not happen to make his way back to the Miami Heat, is none other than 9-time All-Star Russell Westbrook. That will be their pivot that they're reportedly going to try to go with if LeBron James does not make his way back to the Miami Heat. And allow me to say this. A lot of people, and if you're on social media, you've probably seen it already, but a lot of people have been making their opinions known about this, or known about the decision that the Heat are now going to, or not, excuse me, not now. Let me correct that. Not now, but if LeBron does not make his way back to the Heat, they're going to go with Russell Westbrook. And people have been pretty heated, put it like that, that's the Heat's pivot if that doesn't happen. Allow me to say this. I choose to differ, me personally, because myself, I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. You guys know I'm a Lakers fan. And we happen to have Russell Westbrook on the Lakers for 2 seasons. And while his time with the Lakers was controversy filled and full of chaos and full of, media drama and full of, narratives and everything like that, everything you could think of, that time was filled with. Like, it was filled with just like media drama and, quotes every single day, and people speculating how Russell Westbrook felt and why people were speculating on why Russell Westbrook didn't want to be on the team with LeBron and AD. And it was just so much drama, so much chaos, controversy. And I feel like it kind of got blown out of proportion, if you will, because I feel like, and I say this still to this day, if anybody ever, whenever I've had conversations with anyone about this or with anyone talking about Russell Westbrook, I always make it a point to say that I feel like he's always, in a way, gotten a bad rap. And I'm talking about for his career. I mean, going back from the OKC stuff to the Houston situation to the Lakers situation. I feel like he's always pretty much gotten that bad rap, but for reasons that I can kind of understand, but in a way you kind of have to feel on the side of Russell Westbrook. Here's what the things I'm trying to get you guys to understand. While Russell Westbrook is no LeBron James, we know that. He is no LeBron James at all. But he is Mr. Triple-Double, though. He is that. And throughout the course of his career, he's been a workhorse player. He's been one of those players that you can rely on to play games, to give all-out effort, to just be that constant energy spark for your team. He's been that his entire career. Never has not been that. He's always been that energy spark everywhere he's been. I mean, from OKC to Houston to Washington to LA to the Clippers to the Nuggets to now the Kings to potentially now the Heat. Everywhere he's been that energy spark. He's been able to have that consistent effort, consistent energy, consistent just hustle and passion. That passion play, like his documentary was named, that passion play that he always manages to play with. Pause. He's always managed to have that. But going beyond that, I feel like his number one goal, and he says this, if you ever listen to Russell Westbrook talk about like his motivation to play the game, his thing is he just wants to win. So in his mind, where people may look at certain things he does or certain mistakes he may make or turnovers he may have, and they look at those things and say, oh, he's an irresponsible point guard, or he's not the best point guard, or he's not a smart or knowledgeable point guard. It's not that. It's just the fact that he said this multiple times, it's the fact that he plays the game of basketball with so much passion, so much energy, that a lot of times he's just going. A lot of times he doesn't. It's difficult to kind of like taper that back a little bit. So he's like one of those 100% all out effort at all times kind of players. So with that being the case, yes, mistakes are going to happen. Turnovers are going to happen. Bad shots are going to happen. Misses are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. That is one of the main things I feel like are always misconstrued in Russell Westbrook's game. Now, I'm not saying that those things are okay. I'm not saying that turnovers are okay. I'm not saying that making mistakes are okay, missing shots are okay. I'm not saying that any of those things are, what you would want, or that those things are, accept or not acceptable, but I wouldn't say that those things are exceptional and that's what you want him to do. But I'm saying with the way that Russell Westbrook plays the game of basketball, those are the things that you have to expect out of his game if you also want the reward. That's the main thing that I feel like is always lost about Russell Westbrook. If you want the reward of Russell Westbrook being Russell Westbrook, you want them triple doubles, you want them all-star games, you want him being able to carry your team to the playoffs like he's done in the past, you're going to have to live with the mistakes of a Russell Westbrook, of the turnovers, of the bad shots, of the bad passes, of the bad decision making at times, or questionable decision making at times. You're gonna have to deal with those things, but that's with any player. Any player is risk and reward. I don't care who it is. It can be Jalen Brunson, SGA, Wemby. Every player has risk and reward. Every single one. But I feel like Russell Westbrook's just because. Let's be real here. The fact that he is a star in this league, the fact that he is a MVP, the fact that the fact that he did pull the Oklahoma City Thunder up to a point that where a whole lot of people, I ain't gonna say no names, but a whole lot of people thought he couldn't when KD left and went to Golden State. A lot of people thought he couldn't maintain that level of being a star player and carry OKC to where they went and maintain being the star player on the team. And he did all of that throughout the course of his career, made his career what it was, ended up becoming a legend in the game of basketball, will be a Hall of Famer 100%, became Mr. Triple-Double. While he did all those things, let's be real, all of those things also subjected him to being criticized at that level. And we've talked about this on the show multiple times. When you get to star level, when you get to levels of being the star on the team, you're the superstar, or you're the especially when you're doing stuff like Russell Westbrook was doing. Y'all know what Russell Westbrook was doing. Like I said, Mr. Triple-Double. Triple-Double broke Oscar Robinson's record. Managed to average a triple-double. Managed to become Mr. Triple-Double, having stat lines like 20, 20, and 20. Like, when you start doing stuff like that, winning MVPs, carrying teams that nobody expected to be in the playoffs to the playoffs, when you start doing those kind of things, making all-star games and making a name for yourself in this league, when you start to do those things, there are two things that you can expect, put it like that. One is a good thing. You know you finna get that bag, okay? You know you finna get that bag. Just for example, Russell Westbrook has made $349 million over his career. So you know you gonna get that bag. That's the positive part, okay? You know you're gonna get that bag. You know you're gonna get all the admiration and the praise when you're doing good and the team is doing good. You know you're gonna get all that. That come along with the bag and getting the money. All that come along with it. That's great. That's the positive part, right? That's the part that look cool. That part look cool. It look fire. You know, you get the admiration and you get put up there ranked against them greats and ranked against the big O's and, ranked against the people like you get put in them conversations with some of the greatest point guards of all time and, was one of the greatest MVPs of all time. You get put up there with them type associations, with them type players. You get put in the ranks of people like, okay, being one of the greatest players of all time, period. Having your name go down in the record books as winning the prestigious award of winning MVP. When you start, that's all cool and great. That's the great, glorious part about becoming a star or a superstar in anything. Any field, pick one. That's the advantage of becoming a superstar or a star in that field, right? Now, here's the downside that don't nobody really talk about. The criticism when you don't get it done. The criticism when you don't play how they expect you to. The criticism when you, let's be real, you shrink to some's expectations. the criticisms to when you don't perform how they expected you to. There's criticism when you don't make things happen that they expected you to make happen. Those type criticisms and you being ranked due to those criticisms, that's when all the criticism and the noise and the judgment and the outside, I guess you would say outside, I don't want to say noise because we just said that, but just for lack of a better way to say it, that's when the outside influence starts to shift from positive admiration, you're so great, to, oh, well, this is what's wrong with him and this is why he'll never do this. That's when it shifts to that, and that's what Russell Westbrook has always fell victim to. Now, getting back to the point of this video after that long tangent, pause on that. Anyway, getting back to the point about the Heat going after him if LeBron does not make his way back to the Heat. Why wouldn't this be a good option? Let's keep it real here. He's not on a team by himself. He's on a team with Giannis and Bam. The reason why people are saying that this wouldn't be a good option is because Russell Westbrook has reached that stage of his career to where he's clearly declining, respectfully, but he's clearly declining as far as, he's not the Russell Westbrook of old, and respectfully so. My guy is 37 years old, so respectfully so. But he's clearly declining. The stats are going down. They're significantly going down from where they used to be. Or not significantly, because his career regular season averages is 20 points per game. In his recent season, he averaged 15. So it's not significantly, but the stats are going down, right? Y'all get me. And Russell Westbrook has reached this stage of his career to where he's more looked at as a role player. He's not given those starter opportunities that he once was given. And it's nothing against him. It's nothing that he's not doing. But when you reach this stage of your career like Russell Westbrook is in, and you're the type of player that Russell Westbrook is, kind of like Allen Iverson was back in the day. If y'all know what I'm talking about, that's how Allen Iverson was. Allen Iverson was Allen Iverson was a great, legendary, never seen before kind of player. The answer. They called him the answer for a reason. He was the answer to Philly's problems. Okay? They called him that for a reason. Allen Iverson, I can't say enough about him for just how legendary he was. And me personally, I feel like he's underrated in my opinion. I do. But he was so great, so phenomenal, so legendary, so great of a player in his prime. But the thing was, in his prime, he was a player that you would have to run your team through. Like, he was the guy that you would naturally want to run your system, want to run your team, want to be the guy on your team. So when you get older and you're not able to do those things you used to do, you're not able to get the 30-point games. You're not able to get the, 30-point games and 10 assists, stuff like that. When you're not able to do stuff like that, drop 51, when you ain't able to do stuff like that, teams start to look at you in a different light. And it's no offense on the player, but they start to look at you from the aspect of, okay, you're good. Yeah, like you're still that person. You're good. But it would be best if we didn't let you have a major role on the team. Like, you could be an important role player, but as far as having an important, like, starting role, like controlling the franchise, we're not gonna put that in your hands, pause, at this stage of your career. That's where Russell Westbrook is right now. So for the Heat to say that that's gonna be their pivot if they don't sign LeBron, look at the two parallels. Okay, LeBron would be the guy you're going to get because LeBron is going to have a huge influence and a huge impact on the Miami Heat. He's going to make their big three. It's going to be LeBron, Bam, and Giannis. They're going to have a big three together, right? A huge, like power trio, right? With Russell Westbrook, that from the supporters aspect, that's a different mindset because Russell Westbrook is looked at as a role player. So in my opinion, people are looking at it like, is that really going to help? Because you're just adding a role player to Bam and Giannis. Is that really going to do anything as far as the level that LeBron would do something? I would argue it's not going to be on the level of LeBron, but the reason why I say this isn't a bad thing is because Russell Westbrook is a great point guard. He's a great point guard. Once again, Mr. Triple Double for a reason. And Russell Westbrook still can go with the best of the, well, he still can go and be a consistent, let me correct that. He still can go and be a consistent point guard at this level. Okay? He's still an above average point guard. If you think I'm joking, Russell Westbrook averaged 15.2 points in this past season. The averages for point guards this past season in 2025, 2026, point guards put up an average of 12.2 points per game this year. So he's still above average as far as being a point guard, right? He still can go at this stage of his career. He's still, like I said, putting up 15.2 points per game. Let you guys know the whole stat line. At 37 years old, 15.2 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, in 29 minutes per game, shot 42% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, 69% from the free throw line, and had the 52.8% true shooting percentage. So it's not prime Russell Westbrook, no. It's not triple-double Westbrook, no. But he still can get it done consistent enough to be above average in this league. And I have thought, ever since Giannis has made his way to Miami, I think the one thing they missing to, like, chill completely on being they gonna be a problem, which they already will be, but I think they need a point guard that has been there, done that, seen pretty much everything, can control the game, has no problem lessening his game and lessening his influence on the game to improve Giannis and Bam's flow in the game. So he has no problem racking up them assists, racking up them high assist numbers, racking up them low scoring games, but also having them high assist games to where Giannis and Bam can just eat and feast on the court. Who would that be other than maybe like a Mike Conley? I think Russell Westbrook would kind of fit that role perfectly. I really do, especially at this stage of his career, because I think now Russell Westbrook is really starting to accept the fact that at this stage of his career, he's not like the guy that's carrying a team or like the guy on the team. I think he really knows at this stage of his career, he's the guy that's going to control the flow, give you some points when you need to, but he controls the flow, just play a pure point guard role, and then when it's time to turn it on, he can turn it on. I think he's really starting to accept and get a lot more comfortable in that role later in his career, and I applaud him for that and give him props for that, honestly, because Russell Westbrook has said and been vocal about the fact that whatever the team needs him to do, he's willing to do. I just feel like now he's becoming more comfortable with it and more successful with it, as far as being able to kind of know when to score, you know, when to have his spots, when not, when to pass, when to let the flow of the game just kind of flow around him, or when to involve himself. I feel like he's getting more comfortable with that. So if he goes to the Miami Heat, if LeBron doesn't manage just to go there, if he goes to the Miami Heat, he would have no problem being the point guard role, at least in my opinion, playing the point guard role, allowing Bam and Giannis to eat, and in those moments to where Giannis might be tired, Bam might be a little gassed, right? We know Russell Westbrook is one of the most explosive guards that we've ever seen. So we know he has no problem when they are gassed or when they looking like, all right, let me have a couple plays. That's when Russell Westbrook gonna have them, okay, let's go to the rim type plays, have them layups. That's when those, pause on this, that's when those dagger, I ain't gonna say the other thing. That's when the dagger type plays happen. That's when those Russell Westbrook dunks happen, like them dagger type, like momentum killing for the other team plays happen. The Russell Westbrook get a layup. Might get a Russell Westbrook 3 to go. You might get a Russell Westbrook mid-range shot or and one. You know how Russell Westbrook love to rock the baby. You know what I'm saying? So you might get those dagger of shots to go. So I feel like it would be a great thing for him to actually go to the Miami Heat. If LeBron doesn't manage to go there, obviously, I think that the whole narrative around Russell Westbrook is overshadowing how great of a player that he is, that he was, And let's be real, still, like I said, still is at this stage of his career. Russell Westbrook has not fell into the category of being below average as a point guard. He's still above average as a point guard. Is he the guy he once was? No, of course not. He's 37 years old, bro. He not going to be 23, 24, 25, 26 no more. Them days are in the past, okay? He's 37 years old, 18 years into the NBA. He can't do that stuff he used to do no more. So he has to adjust, which he's learned how to do. He knows that, okay, yeah, I still can get double-digit points, but let me focus on just kind of letting the game flow around me. Let me let the game flow around me. That's what was a very, I guess you would say, poetic about him going to the Denver Nuggets, in my opinion, when he did, because that's the main thing that I wanted to see if he could do, that he had gotten comfortable with. Because when we tried to allow him to do that with the Lakers, he was a starter up to that point, so he wasn't as comfortable with doing that as he is now, because he never had, come off the bench before. But now he's actually being comfortable with his position, pause. When he was on the Nuggets, I started to see him actually let the game just flow around him. Like, okay, if I need to score, sure, I can go score, but let me let Jamal Murray eat. Let me let Jokic eat. Let me let Peyton Watson eat. Let me let Christian Braun eat. Let me let all these other dudes eat, and then when it's my time, I'll go do my little stuff, have my little triple-double every now and then we good. If as long as we get the win, I'm cool. When he shifted to that, like to that mentality, I was like, okay, yeah, Russell Westbrook, he got a couple more years left. Because now if he would have been stubborn about doing that, it probably would be towards the end, but he's actually accepted his role in doing that. So I feel like him going to the Miami Heat and giving him another chance to start and be have another chance, maybe the final chance in his career for him to be the guy or the starting point guard on an NBA team on an NBA team that actually is contending. That would re-energize Russell Westbrook beyond belief, because he's the starting point guard. He's the guy essentially in the point guard position. And he's playing with two monster big men, pause. Two of the best big men in the NBA, pause. So that would re-energize him and would raise his motivation to even more so allow the game to flow with him and allow the Miami Heat to just flow smoothly and effortlessly to allow the team to be the best that they can be. So I think this would be a great transition for Russell Westbrook moving over from the Sacramento Kings. If LeBron doesn't manage to go to the Miami Heat, that's the main thing you have to remember. Now, Russell Westbrook is not going to the Miami Heat if LeBron signs there. That's the main thing you got to know. That's the whole pivot point that why they're discussing this. If LeBron manages to go back to the Heat, then Russell Westbrook going to the Heat is dead. But if not, they're going to probably side on of what I'm hearing, they're going to side on the side of Russell Westbrook and bring him in to be like the pivot for LeBron not coming. Pause. So it's going to be interesting if it happens. I think a lot of people just need to chill out from the aspect of just assuming that it's going to just be bad and terrible. And like, dog, this dude's a 9-time All-Star, Mr. Triple-Double. Like I said, done pretty much everything that you would want to do as far as being an NBA player. Listen, put some respect on that man's name and give him a chance to actually let everything work out if he manages to go there before y'all just write off the situation. So it's going to be interesting to see if it happens. We're still on LeBron watch, still got the LeBron sweepstakes happening. The decision part for the Final Destiny is alive and well, but teams are lining up their pivots if they do miss out on the king. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace. Chill out.